It's a victory for airline pilots who are over 60 years old.
President Bush signing a bill allowing commercial pilots to continue flying until age 65 as long as they pass regular medical and piloting exams.
For more on this, we welcome Scott Brenner, a consultant for the group's Airline Pilots Against Age Discrimination. Congratulations. This is a huge victory for your group. You guys have been fighting for this for more than a decade, like since the 80s, correct?
Absolutely. No, it's a huge victory for the pilots, but more importantly, it's a huge victory for the flying public.
Now, Scott, I got to ask you, you don't look like you're beyond 60 unless you're in fantastic shape.
Thank you.
How did you get involved in this fight?
This is a group that I've, previous work and experience on the Hill and in the administration, and this was some guys that I thought were trying to do the right thing and just the kind of people I like to work for. It's,
in convincing the public, and it appears the president didn't need convincing, he signed it, but
yes.
My dad used to say, when it's like being a surgeon or a doctor. When you walk, a surgeon or a pilot, when you walk into an emergency room or onto a plane, you want to see a guy with a little bit of gray or a woman with a little bit of gray around the temples, because that means experience most often. What was your big argument that won everybody over?
No, you hit the nail right on the head. Experience counts. I mean, at the end of the day, you want a pilot who's got a few hours under his belt. And I think the big turning point for us, even though we've been pushing it for a long time, was last Thanksgiving, the world governing body on aviation adopted a standard where it was you could fly up to 65. The U.S. unfortunately did not adopt that, so you had foreign pilots and foreign carriers flying into the U.S., but our own pilots, our own U.S. pilots, were being forced to retire at 60. And that really was the turning point for us.
Scott, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you got your work done. But on the other hand, wasn't part of the reason they passed this the fact that we're running out of pilots?
That's another good point. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do have a pilot shortage in this country, and it's gotten so bad that some of the carriers are actually lowering their standards. I mean, you've got pilot groups like Southwest Airlines. They have a great working relationship with their pilots. Their pilots were some of the motivating factor in this thing, and they understand that you need to keep these senior guys around.
Well, what was the argument against it? I mean, it's ridiculous. 65 is not what it used to be, certainly, with all the advancements in medical technology. What was the big argument that was holding us back?
Well, some argue that, yes, you need to test these guys because, 65, maybe that is a little older. But I think the reality is you saw a lot of some other unions out there, not the Southwest guys, but some other unions whose membership is a little bit younger, and they want to get in that pilot seat as fast as they can. And so by pushing the idea that 60 was a reasonable time to retire, they got in that pilot seat a little faster.
How do you build up the reserve of pilots now? Because clearly, even pushing the age up, we still have a shortage.
No, you're right. It's something that the carriers need to seriously look at. And unfortunately, when you look at all the airline bankruptcies, a lot of the big carriers don't instill a lot of confidence for a long-term productive career for these pilots.
I think when you get on a plane, a lot of people would understand that it's a business, but in the end, you don't want angry pilots who aren't getting paid enough, because in the end, these are highly technically skilled people who have our lives in their hands. So where's the future of pilot pay going?
I don't think you're going to see where it was, 10 years ago, where you saw pilots making a very good wage for, a pretty comfortable lifestyle. I think it's going to become more in line, but it's still, it's still a great field to be in. Maybe just not with some of the major carriers, but maybe it's with, Southwest Airlines and some of the private companies.
Yeah, let's just hope we don't see the pilot before takeoff come around passing the pilot's hat. That would kind of do a little damage to the industry.
Absolutely.
All right, Scott.
Thank you.
Congratulations on this one.
Job.
Great work.
Very
Appreciate
good
Thank you very
work.
much. Thank you.